Well, welcome everybody to AI TV. We're broadcasting online live today from AI Expo Africa 2020 online. Due to COVID, we've taken the channel online and the whole event online this year. So this is a virtual conference, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome Lenore Kerrigan from UiPath and her team from the South African operation, who've been a big sponsor this year at the show, and we thank them for that. But Lenore, do you want to introduce yourself and your team?
Absolutely. Nick, thanks very much for the opportunity, and congratulations to you and team for taking this virtual. It's a wonderful experience for all of us, and I guess we all tap dancing and learning as we go. And quite frankly, I never thought I'd be so exhausted sitting in one place. So thanks for the opportunity. I'd like to introduce my team. I have got Khalil Hassim, who's one of our senior RPA engineers and our RPA guru. And I've also got Tertius with me, who's our customer success manager and AI ninja.
Brilliant. Well, welcome everybody. It's great to have you here.
I'm the sales director for UiPath. As I said, I brought the brains of the family with me.
Yeah, you're the most important person, the salesperson. So I shouldn't say that in front of the engineers, obviously. But yeah, it's great to have UiPath here. And obviously you guys have been blazing a trail and in the headlines with the great work you're doing globally with robotic process automation. And I think obviously that whole industry in itself has been around for quite a while, but now we're seeing augmentation and automation of processes with artificial intelligence. And I think that's where people are sort of asking all the magical questions. You know, you're automating a process, but then how and where does AI fit into that as well? So you're working with some major enterprise clients. I mean, what sort of clients and what sort of scale of process automation projects are you engaged in right now?
So that is really an interesting question. What we're seeing is we have got clients literally from very small organizations all the way up to global enterprises. We have use cases in just about every area of the business. And I think there isn't a week that doesn't go by that, quite frankly, we don't come across a new use case and a new idea for RPA. So we have customers locally that have got literally started off with their first process. Quite often somebody in their organization downloaded our free trial from our website, and also they taught themselves through our free academy, to organizations that have set up a full center of excellence where they're driving automation across the organization and are moving towards what Gartner coined as one of the top 20 technology trends for this year, which is hyper automation as #1. And that's why this year, just within the last year, we announced the RPA hyper automation platform from UiPath. And this is truly helping our customers to move from that first process and getting their heads around what RPA is about to now driving automation at scale across the enterprise.
And maybe a question here for one of the technical guys. I mean, hyper automation, that's a phrase that many people perhaps joining our community for the first time have not heard before. What does hyper automation actually mean?
So I'll take that one. So hyperautomation is moving away from your standard robotics process automation, where all you're doing is taking a single processor and automating it from end to end. What hyperautomation is everything from the process discovery all the way through to managing your processes and actually measuring your ROIs. So that includes discovering specific processes, building them, giving your business users the opportunity to build them, integrating other things such as AI, document understanding, conversational understanding into your RPA projects seamlessly. And that's what we, UiPath, give to the customers as an end-to-end platform.
That's interesting. And Tertius, I mean, in terms of some of the large projects that you guys are involved in, I mean, if you look at a typical large, like say a bank or an insurance or a retail, I mean, how many processes are these organizations, trying to automate? I mean, just to give people some idea of scale.
So we started off small in the 2018, and this year we really now starting to scale up large, and we're talking hundreds of bots and hundreds of processes.
Right.
And the more they integrate into the hyper automation platform, and we embed into process or systems like chatbots and more digital channels, those processes, then the numbers escalated quite dramatically, very fast, and we really get scale at the enterprise level.
And then maybe just at the extreme end, then, I mean, as UiPath set a record, what's been the largest number of processes and bots that a single client globally has brought on through your platform?
One process that I know of in one of our largest customers is running 400 bots behind the chatbot. So that's quite powerful if you look at the enterprise.
Wow, that's amazing.
I believe that there is a bank in Japan who's running, last we heard, was over 1,200 processes. And they literally have a strategy of automate everything that can be automated. We've also got a customer that's expanding globally at a rapid rate. And there was an executive interviewed recently, and he said, we have a very simple mantra in our organization. If you hate it, automate it.
Yeah. I wish someone could automate building an event like this, but we did actually introduce a synthetic agent, Vicky. I don't know whether you saw her at the beginning of the show. That technology, actually, the speaker is, I think he's live this afternoon, Victor from Synthesize AI in London. But yeah, I mean, you type some text into an interface, you choose the background, you choose the color, the actor, and then it goes up to the cloud, comes back as a fully formed film of someone speaking. So, I mean, to me, the really exciting thing is where we are now. I think, you know, maybe 2 years ago, people were sort of saying, oh, we're going to have this third AI winter. I mean, I think people like UiPath are actually proving that wrong now. I think, you know, it's here to stay. But the question is now, where does it go? I mean, if you're talking Japanese bank, you know, hundreds and thousands of bots, where does this go? What does the next 10 years look like?
So our CEO believes very, very strongly in one robot per person. And that's really where it's going. And I mean, this is where I give my age away. I clearly remember when Bill Gates spoke about a computer per person, and that was poo-pooed. People wondered, why on earth would you ever want a computer per person? As you know, you can't operate today without your own laptop and your very, very sophisticated smartphone. And that's really where it's evolving. So at the moment, a lot of what is happening from an automation perspective is very much in the back office and automating traditional processes. I think as people are getting their heads around what is this really about, what is the opportunity? And the next step is spanning into really the art of the possible. And we're now starting to see more and more organizations understanding the potential of RPA and saying, but hang on a minute, if I had an army of trained people that can work 24/7, absolutely perfectly and expertly, what could I do with my business? That is a completely different mindset. So that's starting to take place, and we're seeing businesses utilize the technology for that. The next level is, as a result of starting to use some of the back office processes, the front office folks who engage with these processes are starting to understand the impact of them. It's taking away, it's demystifying it and taking away a little bit of that fear of, you know, the robots are coming, as opposed to this technology here is to actually help me, because we've reached, as human beings behind the keyboard, we've actually reached a tipping point. We are no longer productive. I mean, if I look at my screen now, I must have 20 different screens open. And you know what it's like when you try and close your laptop at the end of the day. You've got to shut that all down. It's not productive. So I should have my digital assistant on my laptop, actually, as I do. And when certain tasks come in, that I can just say, oh, that task get run by the bot. And I should be spending my time thinking about the business, innovative, being creative, being empathetic, spending time with the people, spending, most importantly in my world, spending time with the customer, as opposed to pulling down reports and putting in data entries. And that's really what your digital assistant will do. So that's really what the bot per person is about. In fact, PwC are rolling this out across the globe. Right now, they've trained up over 5,000 people in Africa. And then we've also, from an academic point of view, we also, all of our training is online through our academy, which is free, but we have an academic alliance available for any university, where universities can train on RPA, and through that process, we also offer a robot per student. So students can start using robots to make them more effective and efficient in research projects and that sort of thing. So this is pervasive. This is going to be absolutely pervasive across technology, and going to be, as we say, reboot work. You know, it's the way we're going to work in the future.
I mean, I think if one thing, and the fact that we're all on this call right now in the way we are, COVID has done, is it's popped the reality bubble of the way we're working, or the way we have been working to date. I think we are not going to go back completely to the way things were before. And I think this will kickstart this next evolution of automation. And as you say, allowing perhaps more mundane and I say respectfully menial, more sort of mandrolic processes to be done by bots, and then free people up to actually focus on having more design thinking, creative thinking, innovation thinking opportunities. You know, what do we do with this technology? Where do we take it? So the one thing I want to wrap up on is, you mentioned reports. I downloaded the report just before I came on here, and the UiPath booth is the most popular one. So congratulations, guys, so far. But the show lives on for 30 days after this event. And you mentioned academia. We are opening up the platform to all the AI and data science communities across Africa, including universities. So I'm hoping that there's going to be hundreds, if not thousands more people seeing the UiPath booth and your content and learning about this journey. So thanks very much for joining us on AI TV. And we'll put this up on YouTube. And then again, it just adds to the content and inspiration for young people to get involved with the 4IR in Africa. So thank you very much for your time and joining us today.
Thank you, Nick, and thanks to my team. And we're looking forward to the rest of the event. Great excitement to see the outcome of this all round. Thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks very much, Nick.
Awesome. Thank you very much.